Hey cruisers, so it's 2026 and you're considering sailing on Explorer of the Seas, a ship that was built all the way back in 2000, 26 years ago. Is it still worth sailing on, or is it too old, too small, and overrated? Let's find out together in this review of our 9-day sailing aboard Explorer of the Seas right now. So we're on board Explorer of the Seas, a ship that was built all the way back in 2000. Now this ship sails with around 3,000 passengers, and honestly, I feel like that's the right amount. We're sailing at almost capacity now, and I don't feel like it's been much of an issue. What do you feel like?
Oh no, there's lots of public places to go to, lots of room for people to spread out. You don't feel this number of people on the ship.
Yeah, so this is actually a good size ship for the amount of people. They've done a great job with the Voyager-class. Any of the other Voyager-class ships are gonna feel the same, and we really do like them. Now, even though this ship is 26 years old now, they have done several renovations to it throughout the years, in 2021, again in 2023, and then even last year. They've made some significant improvements, like they've added the Perfect Storm water slide system, they've upgraded the kids area, and they've also added Giovanni's Table, the Italian restaurant, on board.
You can still see some wear and tear around the ship. That's normal of a ship this age, but they did update a lot of the wiring and that sort of deal. So all the doors and all the things, you now just have to touch your card to go in, which is nice.
Yeah, you no longer have to insert, it's just a tap RFID. They've also replaced carpeting in a lot of areas, so I feel like they've done some really nice upgrading, and the ship's in pretty good shape for its age. Maybe not as nice as Serenade, but really good shape. So let's start off this review like we always do with our favorite topic, which is
the food.
The food. So Amy, what's your experience been like on board?
Can I say a 10 out of 10 for food off the bat?
Wow, okay, go ahead.
Everything has been cooked to perfection, perfect proportions. I've loved everything.
Wow, okay. Now, we haven't done any specialty dining this time, and you know normally we do some specialty dining around the ship. We just decided we're gonna go strict Windjammer and main dining room this time to see what that experience was like. And I gotta agree with her, we've had a fantastic experience. Now on boarding day, the Windjammer is always crazy bananas. You know, the buffet is just pandemonium, right? But aside from that, I feel like it's been really good. The flow of the Windjammer moves people around really well. There's been a huge selection of food. They've even had a special bar that's been changing, where it was a donut shop one night, and then it was a churro shop another night, then they were making quesadillas one day, which is a really cool touch that we haven't seen on other ships. And the main dining room has been absolutely fantastic. We've had Frank and Noe as our waiters, and they are like rock stars. This is our 42nd cruise, and they may be the top waiters we've ever had.
Right, yeah, they've been on top of every single thing from day one. And even the maitre d' coming in has been super accommodating. We were in my time dining. When we first came in, I wanted to swap for an earlier time, and she was able to do that, which was fantastic because we got paired with Frank.
So the food in the main dining has come out quickly, it's come out and been fresh, it's been correct, and it's been delicious every single time. I don't think I've had a meal in the main dining area that wasn't like up to par, that wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
No, 100%. And we've been in and out in an hour. All 3 courses, drinks, everything, cleaned up, ready to go, start, stop.
Yeah, that's really impressive, especially for a ship of this size. So we're super happy with it. 10 out of 10 on dining on all accounts for us. Next up is the entertainment on board, and there is so much to do, but let's start with the shows. So what has your experience been like with the shows on board?
Every single night has been something different, and they've done a great job of mixing things that kids would like. So we brought our daughter into the shows and she's loved them. And then something that had been strictly just for adults. They've had the comedian. He was awesome. He was hilarious. We got to see him. They had a multi-purpose act the other night. We've seen him before, but we stayed and watched it. He was really good.
Yeah. They've had several different performers that weren't from the ship, particularly Abbey Road, which is a Beatles tribute band. They were fantastic last night. But the productions on board have been good as well. They had Invitation to Dance, which we've seen numerous times on other ships, but that was good, and several other productions that have been actually really good. And because this was a New Year's Eve sailing, there have also been special performances and special things to do, which have all been great, and we've really enjoyed the entertainment and the productions on board. Outside of the shows, you do have Adventure Ocean, which is the kids area, and our daughter's loved it. She's actually there right now and she's having a blast. She just absolutely loves Adventure Ocean, and the staff on here has been incredible. They've done a great job of doing different activities with the kids, doing crafts, doing games, doing things for them to build and make and have fun. Like, they just had a blast coloring. She's loving every minute of the kids club.
Right, they've had multiple family events too. They had their own countdown party for them. So she got to do 2 countdown parties, one with them and then one with us.
Yeah, so for New Year's Eve, because they don't expect kids to be up till the New Year's, they did an earlier countdown around 7 o'clock so that the kids could come, and they had balloons and dancing and like funny hats and pictures and things for people to wear. So that was a really fun time and something special for the kiddos that may not stay up till midnight.
Right, they did that, and today was a pool deck party just for families and kids, and there was a raffle for games. So lots of family things all put on by Adventure Ocean.
Yep. And then right outside of Adventure Ocean is actually the arcade. And the arcade is huge and it wraps around in a giant circle and then down the hallway. Now, the one negative about Adventure Ocean is the check-in process on these ships just really stinks, because Adventure Ocean kind of wraps around and it's like little classrooms, but you don't take your kid to your classroom and drop them off. They have one door. So every single kid and every single parent is in line, and you do them one at a time, and it takes a long time if you're not there early. So that's a minor gripe, but it is a gripe worth knowing, playing your time around that.
And you have to walk to the arcade. So know ahead of time to tell your kids, no, we're not playing this. Or schedule time where you can play the arcade games, because they're gonna ask.
That's a valid point. Pretty much every time we go, our daughter asks to play the duck claw machine. So valid point. Actually a smart move on Royal Caribbean Sport, right? Now, for the more adventurous of you, they do have the flow rider, a rock climbing wall, the putt-putt golf course, the sports courts where they do soccer, basketball, pickleball, all sorts of stuff, shuffleboard. They have large chessboards. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of.
Dance classes, water aerobics, stretching, body combat was even on the ship one day.
Yeah, free Zumba classes.
Yes.
A whole bunch of stuff. So there's a ton of stuff. If you want to go be active and do stuff, there's a ton of stuff on board to go do, which is really surprising. You know, just due to the size of the ship, you may think, hey, they're not going to have a lot to offer. But this, I feel like, was the first entry class ship where they were like, hey, we're really going to target that family market.
Yes.
And you can tell that because it's a significant departure from, say, like your Vision class or your Radiance class. You really start getting a lot of those family focused amenities here.
Yes.
You know, we talked about the Perfect Storm water slides that have been added. So there's a lot going on here for things to do for a little bit older kids, for teens, for adults. Like, there's activities galore. So this is a 9-night sailing, which is a longer sailing. It's a Southern Caribbean. So we went to Grand Cayman and then ended up in Aruba overnight for New Year's. And then we went to Curacao, and now we're heading home. So because it is longer, typically you would expect less kids. But because this is over the holiday break, there's actually a ton of families and a ton of kids on board.
There have been tons of families on board, lots of multi-generationals too. And the families, we're saying they're bringing their babies all the way up to their teenagers. Everybody's been entertained. The grandparents have come along. We've seen lots of people with cards out by the pool table, bringing their food out, just having a blast this whole entire cruise.
Yeah, it's definitely been a family cruise. Tons of kids, tons of adults, really spread out, which is unusual for a longer sailing, but everyone's entertained and the ship doesn't feel full, except for one area, which is the pool deck. On sea days, there's no chairs. So if there's a miss, that's the miss for the overall ship, is that on a sea day, there are no chairs. And it's not even because the chair hogs, you know, dropping towels everywhere and leaving, like, they're just full. But aside from the main pool deck, the solarium has had plenty of chairs, there's been plenty of room. And what I really like about this class ship is that even though it's a smaller ship and that there's only 3,000 people on board, you do have that main pool with multiple hot tubs out there. Then you have the solarium pool and multiple hot tubs there, and then the flow rider in the back. So it really gives you multiple places to go get away, and then multiple places to go relax. And then deck 12 is all chairs, but there's no way to cool off in the pool. You have to walk down. But there is that other deck there if you wanted to get away and kind of sunbathe away from the pool.
And if you wanted that secret hot tub,
oh,
don't forget,
yes.
the secret hot tub is in the gym.
So weirdly enough, as soon as you walk into the gym on this ship, there is a hot tub right there. And you can work out and be staring at people in the hot tub, or you can be in the hot tub staring at people while they work out. I don't really know what the thought process was here, but it is yet another hot tub, just another option. Yes. So for the amount of people on board, you do have a ton of spaces to go into the pools or the hot tubs. Overall, I feel like the staff on board has been great. I really haven't had any negative experiences with any staff. What about you?
No negative staff. We've seen some people that haven't had great experience and been letting the staff have it and smile. They took it with lots of grace, but all the staff has been fantastic, welcoming, smiling, talking to us like, hey, how are you? It's been wonderful.
Yep, I'd have to agree. It has been great. It's been a great experience with the staff on board, from our room steward to the security, to shore excursions, to the entertainment staff and the kids staff, our waiters. It's been just such a great experience, especially coming off the Grandiosa last week.
Yes.
And getting on here, just a night and day difference.
100%.
So alcohol on board, I feel like has actually been pretty good. Like, I feel like the bartenders have actually done a really good job of making drinks quickly, keeping the bars moving, and making good drinks. Not just drinks quickly, but good tasting drinks.
Right, and they've been consistent. So usually we have one bar that's the place we go, they make the best drinks, but I feel like as we've tried out all the different bars on board, they've all been consistently fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Normally we would go get her mud slides at the schooner bar. This time I got one at the pool deck on my way down to meet her. I gave it to her. She's like, wow, where did you get this from? And it ends up being from the pool deck, which is just such a drastic departure from where we normally go for those things. So as you can tell, we don't have a balcony this time. We have an ocean view room down here in the dungeon on deck 2, all the way at the bottom. We're right above basically the staff quarters and where you get off. And there are pros and cons to that, right? So we're gonna do a video, and instead of just a room tour, we're gonna do a room tour and a review just to help people understand what you're getting when you're booking a guaranteed room, because that's what this was. Due to it being a 9-night sailing and due to it being a last minute deal that we found, we just took a guaranteed ocean view room and kind of rolled the dice. And there are some pros and cons to this room. Maybe more cons than pros, but when that video is live, I'm gonna link it up here in a card. That way you can find it and actually watch all about it. But an overall quick review, I feel like the room is a decent size. It's just noisy. If I was to kind of like say what my problems were.
Yes, no, I agree with you. It has ample storage. It's got a lot of floor space in it. The beds are comfortable. We've had the Pullman down over here. Our daughter's fantastic with it. The window's been really clean. We could actually take pictures through it and it looked good, but it is a noisy part of the ship, which is important to take into account, especially if you want to have a guarantee or pick your own.
And remember, if that's something that worries you, instead of picking a guarantee, you can always have a travel agent like Amy book the perfect room for you, where they can actually go through and she knows what to look for to make sure that you have the perfect experience and you don't have this experience. Like I said, we just rolled the dice on this one, hoping because it was so last minute for us. And to wrap this thing up, overall, I feel like the ship has been in really good shape overall. You can't really tell that it's a 20-year-old ship other than the bathroom that looks very dated. Everything else feels nice. It feels modern. It's well kept. It's well maintained. Everything's functioning. I mean, we've been on newer ships where things aren't functioning like they should be.
Right.
I've been really happy with it, and I think that the ship itself is a great ship to sail on. I would have no problem sailing on Explorer of the Seas again. We recently did a video on Voyager of the Seas and didn't give it the same, and this is a Voyager-class ship. So it's kind of impressive to know that Voyager is in much worse state of repair than this ship is. So if you were choosing between the two, I would probably lean towards Explorer of the Seas.
Right, I'd have no problem sailing on this one again. And Voyager was also a 9-night sailing too, so that's kind of funny.
Well, that sums up the review for this 9-night sailing on Explorer of the Seas. Hopefully this review's been helpful for you. If it has, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, you can use the QR code here or the link down in the description down below to have Amy book the perfect cruise on the perfect itinerary for you, maybe even aboard to explore the seas. As always, we appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you on the next one.